Hello boys and girls, it's Mr. Giomini. Wanted to come to you with a couple, or two examples really, of solving multi-step equations. These are definitely a little bit more complicated, more involved, but if you kind of take a look at them, you'll see that when even we solve one or two step equations, really if you kind of understand the process, the algorithm for it, it really is similar. No matter how many steps I add, I'm really just following the same type of thought process, just adding more elements into it. So if we take a look at this first one here, the way I'd read this is 4 times, open parentheses, 2 times r minus 8, close parentheses, equals 1/7 of, or 1/7 times, 49r plus 70. First thing I notice is I have to use the distributive property on both sides of this equation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, hey, 4 times 2r, because I cannot combine the 2r and the 8 inside parentheses. They're unlike terms. So if I go 4 times 2r, 4 times 2 gives me 8, so now I have 8r. And that is minus 4 times 8 is 32. And that is equal to, now on this side of the equation, I have a 7th. I have a 7th of 49, and I have a 7th of 70. And again, I cannot combine these terms inside the parentheses because this has the variable. This is a coefficient variable. There's no variable here. Cannot combine those. So 1/7 of 49 gives me 7, and that is 7r. Plus 1/7 of 70 is 10. Next thing I notice is I have variables or coefficients on both sides of the equations. I also have what we'd say is integers on also both sides. So I want to get all the integers to one side, all the coefficients to the other side. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the 32 to both sides. I kind of want to try to figure out a way I can do this without dealing with negative numbers. So I want to add 32 to both sides. Remember the equations, whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. That cancels those out. Minus 32 plus 32, we have nothing left, which is exactly what I want. So I'm left with 8r. And that is equal to, we've done nothing with the 7r's. And that becomes 10 plus 32, which gives me a positive 42. Now, if I were to get rid of the 7r's, because now that I have this 42 here, that's great. I have all the integers on the right side of the equation. Problem is I still have coefficients. I still have coefficients on both sides. So let's get all the coefficients to the left because I want to make sure I have a balance here. I can't have an equation with everything on the right and nothing on the left. So to get rid of these 7r's, I'm going to subtract. So if I have 7r's, to get rid of 7r's, I just take 7r's away. So that leaves us with 1r, which is the same as r. Let me actually write that not in cursive, but in print. So that equals r equals 42. And there is my answer. Now, if I wanted to prove that this is the correct answer, remember, I can substitute that back in. This becomes a little bit cumbersome, but let's take a look here. 2 times 42 minus 8. Now, this is where it gets real big. Here we have 1/7 times 49 times 42. Whoa. Plus 70. All right. Well, let's go here first. We go 42 times 2 gives me, what is that, 84? 84 minus 8. Oh, I forgot to put the parenthesis here to close that parenthesis there. Sorry about that. And then we take that difference and we multiply it by 4. Well, 84 minus 8 would give me 76. And then 76 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 2 gives me 30. So I need the other side of this to equal also 304. That's, again, they both equal that. Now 49 times 42. I can't do that one on my noggin too well. So 49 times 42. That's 18. That's 9. That's 0. That's 36. That's 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh boy, this is a big number. That gives me 2,000... was that 58? Plus 70 gives me 8. Let's see here. That's what? 12, 1, 2. 2,128. But remember, we're taking 1/7 of that. 1/7 of 2,128. So really, if I want to think about it, that says this is the same as 2,128. If I'm dividing into sevenths, I'm dividing into 7 equal pieces. And I'm going to do the math over here. Let's see here. Let me erase what I already have so I can do my math. So that gives me 2,128 divided by 7. Does not go into 2. Will go into 21 3 times. That gives me 21. I subtract that 0, bring down a 2. 7 does not go into 2. Bring down the 8. Hey, 7 goes in 8. Hey, look at that. It also equals 304. So now I am positive that my answer of r equals 42 does work, because when I substitute the 42 back into both sides of the equations equal 304. That's why it's great to do equations, because you can always substitute your values back in, whatever you find out the variable equals, and check to make sure you're right. Let's take a look at another one real quick. We'd read this as 4 minus 2 times d divided by 5 plus 3 is equal to 9. Now you can do a couple things here. You can multiply everything by 5 if you want to get rid of that divide by 5. But since we only have one divisor or one denominator, I'm going to leave it as is for right now. And all I'm going to do is, I see that this whole piece, this whole term has that variable, that coefficient here. So I'm going to leave that alone right now. What I want to do is try to begin to simplify this to solve for it, but by helping my out, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Let's get that 3 away from that other term here. So now we're left with 4 minus 2 times d, still divided by 5. Well, the 3's cancel each other out, so I'm left with 9 minus 3 is 6. All right? Now, to help me out here, I see that I have this dividend here. But let's get rid of the divisor first. So to get rid of divide by 5, we're going to multiply both sides. We're going to multiply both sides by 5. I'm just going to put this as a fraction here, because I can see the cross reduction here. So now I'm left with 4 minus 2 times d is equal to 6 times 5. 6 times 5 gives me 30. All right? Now, not done yet. I see that here is a term. We have two terms here, the 4 and the 2d. Here's a term with the variable. I'm going to leave it here. We have the coefficient of variable. We're going to leave that alone. We are now going to get rid of this 4. Well, this is a positive 4. To undo 4, we need to subtract 4 from both sides. So subtract 4 from both sides. I now have that minus comes down. This is a negative 2d. Negative 2d is equal to, I believe that gives me 26. I would now that I have this, I don't care what 2d is equal to. I want to find what is 1d. Now we have this negative sign in front. We don't want to find for a negative variable. So I'm going to attach that negative there. So now let's divide both sides by negative 2. We now end up with d is equal to a positive I negative gives me a negative 13. All right. Now again, just as I did with the last example, I could substitute this back in. So we have 4 minus 2 times negative 13 divided by 5 plus 3, and we hope that left side equals 9. Let's do the multiplication first. 2 times negative 13. 2 times negative 13, so that gives me 4 minus, let's see here, 2 times negative 13 gives me negative 26, I believe, correct? Divided by 5, still adding the 3, and we hope that left side still equals 9. Well, remember, we have a double negative here. I want to take away, I'm taking away this debt of 26. So when I take away your debt of 26, I'm actually going to add 26 to it. So now you have no debt. So now I have 26 plus 4 gives me 30. I've simplified the top part. 30 divided by 5 plus 3 is equal to 9, we hope. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 plus 3 we hope equals 9. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 checks 9. It's a sloppy 9. And there we are. All right. Hope this helps you out in your test preparation or any just answering questions. Take care. Bye.